If you want more peace, here's the thought. You don't need more motivation. You need more self-respect. Self-respect is a feeling and self-respect is a decision. And decisions change your life very fast. So here's a test for you. If your mouth says, I want peace, but your life says, I tolerate chaos, your standard is not peace just yet. So today, you're going to spot one leak and replace it with a clean standard. Question: what and where are you saying you want more, but living like you deserve less? Self-respect is not a personality trait. It's a practice. It's what you tolerate. It's what you repeat. It's what you excuse. And it's what you keep paying for with your time, your energy, and your nervous system. And here's the most important line. Your nervous system does not believe your affirmations if your boundaries says the opposite. So if you keep affirming, I'm worthy, but keep accepting what drains you, your body will believe the drain, not the words. So today we align words and boundaries. So most people think that they need confidence, but confidence is absolutely never a step one. Self-respect is step one. So confidence grows after you get better at respecting yourself, because self-respect is you proving to yourself, I keep my word. Even with very small things, even when nobody claps for you, even when it's uncomfortable, a woman with self-respect doesn't chase, you choose. You don't beg for understanding, you communicate very clearly. So you don't need permission to be you. One decision today can become a new identity tomorrow. So ask yourself this. What would the most self-respected version of me do next? So here's leak number one. Over-explaining is when you try to earn your right to say no. Or are you right to change your mind? Are you right to want what you want? But self-respect is more clean than this. It doesn't perform, justify, debate your boundaries with people who benefit from you having none. You see? So if you over-explain, you will often abandon yourself to keep other people comfortable. But don't do that. Over-explaining is asking permission to be yourself. So today's practice, say one sentence, then stop talking. So here are 4 boundary sentences you can use, memorize them and use them. Number 1, that doesn't work for me, not that day. Number 2, I'm not available for that at the moment, I'm sorry. Number 3, I need to feel more into this. Can you give me just a week or 2? 4, I'm choosing differently now. And then just silence, pause, because silence is self-respect. You don't need a story. You don't need to convince everybody or nobody. Your boundary is not a negotiation. Your boundary is information. So question, which sentence do you need today? And where will you use it in the next 24 hours? Leak number 2, this is the automated yes you do. And fast yes can be abandoning of self. It feels like, okay, I'll do this because your body doesn't even check in. And later you feel like resentful, you feel the fatigue and you feel the tightness. And that tightness is just your body saying, well, this was not really what we wanted to do. People pleasing is not kindness when it costs you your peace. So if your yes creates resentment, it wasn't a yes in the first place. The micro action you can do right now, and before you answer anything today, just please pause and say, let me check my calendar and I'll get back to you. League number 3, staying loyal to what drains you. Why do we do that? Some of you are loyal to old patterns, the old rules, old identities, the old expectations, because it feels familiar. But familiar is just not the same as being healthy toward yourself. And your future does not open from that same standard that will keep you where you are at this moment. So you do not need more motivation. You need new standards. So micro action, name one thing that drains you and that keeps, calling you normal. And now ask this, what would it look like to make that unacceptable starting now? So let's do a self-respect scan really fast. So if you can write this. If not, answer this in your mind. So where do I feel I am tight, heavy, resentful? What am I tolerating that I would never recommend to someone I love? What boundary am I avoiding because I don't want to be seen as too much? Yeah? Do you shine, fill up the room too much? The boundary you avoid is usually the one that would free you. So the micro action is here. Pick one area, work, relationship, family, whatever, social media, money, and name the leak in one sentence. So now we install that new standard. And here are like 3 really powerful ones. I don't rush my yeses. I don't keep agreements that cost me my peace. I'm sorry, can't do that. I speak to myself with respect, even when I mess up, because self-respect is not perfection. Self-respect is how you treat yourself while you are becoming. So your standards right now decide your lifestyle. Micro action is choose one standard, say it out loud 3 times, and make one decision today that proves that this is real. Self-respect shows up in really tiny moments. So it's not only about big dramatic exit, it's always about small, clean choices. Not replying instantly, not agreeing to things that you dread, not tolerating disrespectful jokes. You'll know this, right? Not abandoning your body's needs, not betraying your values for belonging. Your life changes when you stop negotiating with what drains you. So a micro action here, where do you keep negotiating? Write it down if you can, and now write that this is no longer negotiable. That sentence will be a turning point. So let's bring in the human design in a very simple way. Human design is not here to make you overthink yourself. It's there to help you trust how you decide best. Your self-respect rises when you stop to force decisions from fear. So aligned decisions feel more clean. Misaligned decisions feel noisy and too fast. So a micro action is think of your last noisy decision. Where did you rush? Why? Where did you ignore your body? And now ask, what would a clean decision look like the next time? So awareness first, decisions, and implement it. If you're someone who needs time, then rushing will be a self-betrayal. If you're someone who feels pressure to answer fast, that pressure is probably not the love, it's conditioning. So you learned this, and probably very early in life. You are allowed to take time to pause. And a micro action today could be, thank you so much for asking. I'll get back to you tomorrow. Watch how your nervous system will relax, because pausing is power. A pause is self-respect. And you don't have to explain why you need it. Some people confuse self-respect with being cold, but let's be honest, it's not cold, it's being clear. And also self-respect is warm and direct, and it only says, I care about you and I care about me. So being clear is kind, clean clean is kind. So micro action is, where have you been nice when you actually needed to be clear? Let's be honest. Choose one conversation where you will replace hints with one direct sentence. And let me give you a really powerful reframe, because your boundary is not a wall. Your boundary is a filter. It protects your peace so your energy can be used to build your life. Boundaries create capacity. So a micro action you can do is make one boundary that creates capacity today. And some examples can be that no calls after whatever 8, 1 day a week with no obligations, no responding to messages until after your morning routine. Your peace is productive. So let's talk about that self-talk, because a woman with no self-respect does not speak to herself like an enemy. You will not punish yourself into growth. You will not correct yourself with undignity. You will do it with respect. Discipline without respect is like self-violence. So a micro action is, today, if you mess up, okay, note that you'll just adjust that and I still respect myself. That's how you become more unstoppable. That's why you will never fail anymore. And that's why you will also never abandoning yourself when you do this. So let's get even more practical. One clean choice. Today, choose one clean no. And a clean no without explaining that is, it's like, no, I can't. A clean yes is, yes, I want that. And then you let it stand. Pause. A clean decision is the doorway to a more clean life. So a micro action is, what is one decision you have been delaying because you're scared of someone else's reaction? Make it clean, make it simple, and choose yourself. People who benefit from your lack of boundaries will resist these new standards. I promise you this. That doesn't mean that your standard is wrong. It means that your standard is working. So resistance is not a red flag. It's more like a receipt. So if someone reacts strongly to your boundaries, do not argue with it. Just repeat the sentence. Then just disengage. Your job is not to be understood. Your job to yourself is to be aligned with what you want. So let's cement this with your identity. You're not becoming self-respecting someday. You'll practice it today. So one small act at a time, and every act becomes evidence. Self-respect is built in the moment that nobody sees, okay? So do one private act of self-respect today. That could be drinking water, move your body for 5 minutes, say no to scrolling, go to bed earlier, keep your words to yourself. Your nervous system will keep that score, I promise you. So if you want a simple measuring tool, after any choice, ask this to yourself. Did this expand me or does it shrink me? Does this create peace or noise? Did I honor myself here, or did I abandon myself? Your body knows before your mind will admit it. So think about one decision that you are facing this week. Before you decide, do like a body check. Do you have a lump in the throat chakra? Is your stomach tight? Do you breathe freely? And let your body guide this new standard that you are having, because your body knows even when your mind wanders into chaos. You can also ride one self-respecting standard that you are choosing this week, because when you name it, you claim it. If you know a person who keeps giving until you feel empty, send this to her. Peace is not something you wait for. Peace is something that you choose. So self-respect is the doorway, and you can choose it today. One clean choice at a time. If you have knowledge, but you're not living it, you don't need more information. You do need an execution structure that matches your nervous system. Because your life doesn't change from what you know with your conscious brain. It changes from what you repeat. So today I'll give you a daily code, simple, fast, repeatable, that builds in the self-love through action, because knowledge is the potential and execution is the power. So question, what do you know you should do, but you keep delaying? Boundaries, movement, self-talk, visibility maybe. Most people think they lack discipline. Most people actually lack emotional safety in action. So when action feels unsafe, procrastination is the protection. So you're not lazy, your brain is not lazy, but it is set to be loyal to what keeps you feeling safe. So the goal is not to force yourself harder. The goal is to make action feel safe again. Procrastination or ego is often just protection, not failure. So name the feeling behind the delay. What is it? Is it fear? Is it overwhelm? Protection, perfectionism, shame, uncertainty? What is it? So when you name it, you stop being ruled by it. You take the power out of it. So a core shift here is stop trying to feel motivated. Start building a structure you can follow even when you feel nothing. So motivation is not unstable, structure is stable. And stable structure creates stable identity. Don't build your life on motivation, build it more on a system, on a structure. So, pick one area you want to improve in. What is it? Is it health, money, content, confidence? And decide, I will do the smallest version I can daily. So, not to get the perfect vision every day, but daily execution code. And it has 3 steps. So step 1 is 60 seconds. Ask this. What if the one feeling I choose today, is it peace, courage, self-respect, confidence? And then ask this. What would that feeling do first? Because feelings are not just emotions, they are instructions for behavior. So when you choose the feeling, then act like it's true. Right now, pick one feeling for today. You can write it down or do it in your mind. Then write one sentence. So if I lived this feeling, my first move would be. Step 2, one identity proof action. Let's do 5 minutes. Not 1 hour and not a full reset. When you do only like 5 minutes, that proves that you are actually starting to become. Because self-love becomes real when it becomes behavior. You don't become confident by thinking. You become confident by proving it to yourself. So example can be, if your feeling is peace, 5 minutes of slow breathing or tidying up could be that. If it's courage, send the message, post the content, make the call. And if it's self-respect, set one boundary or stop responding instantly. Number 3, close the loops. 90 seconds, you say, I did the thing. This is evidence that I can actually trust myself. So you say, this is how my identity upgrades. Most people skip this, then wonder why progress doesn't feel real. But confidence is not a thought. Confidence is like a receipt. And the micro actions you do while just doing 5 minutes and saying it out loud, that will count because your brain hears what you're saying. And this is making proof that you can trust yourself more right now. right now. Start small. Now, let's kind of fix this perfectionism trap, because perfectionism is not being high to your standards. Perfectionism is like fear in a fancy coat. It kind of delays just your growth, your results, it delays your peace. And perfectionism is procrastination, just wearing makeup. It's also covered like lowest self-esteem mostly. So choose version 1 today. You know, not the final version, but just the version today. Post the imperfect. Do the small workout. Say the simple boundary. Say no. Your future self is built by repetition, not perfection. Remember that. So here's a powerful audit question. What do I know, but I'm not living? Is it boundaries? Is it movement, water, sleep, self-talk? Is it visibility? Just pick one and ask yourself, what is the smallest version of living this today? The smallest version is the doorway. It's the doorway in. It's the movement. It's the 5 minutes. It's the boundaries. It's the one sentences. It's the self-talk. One correction phrase, you know. Visibility is the 30-second clips. Just post it. Small is not being weak, but it's very strategic, and it's how you can always make it. So, okay, let's talk about self-talk as an execution. If you speak to yourself like a threat, you know, your nervous system will kind of resist your goals. Self-love is not soft avoidance. Remember this. Self-love is very supportive leadership. The voice you use becomes the life you live. So today, replace one harsh line with one clean line. Instead of, oh, I never do this, I never stick to what I'm saying, just say, I'm practicing consistency, and today counts. That is execution, and that's identity building. So now I want to bring human design in a very simple way. Human design helps you stop forcing strategies that don't fit your decision making. Execution becomes easier when your decisions are aligned with your design. Misalignment creates friction and unsatisfaction, but alignment creates momentum. So notice where you rush, notice where you people please, notice where you overthink everything, and just pick one correction. Pause before you answer, walk before you decide, say, I'll get back to you. Your structure should match your nature, your human design chart. If you tend to decide too fast, use a pause protocol, right? Just say, thank you so much. Yeah, sure. Let me get back to you tomorrow. That one sentence protects your alignment and gives you time to feel what is right for you. So today, try and just delay one decision for like 24 hours. Not because you want to avoid it, but because you want to try to respect your process and watch what happens. Because you give your body time to breathe, your mind will be much clearer, and your yes will become more clean because you work your wave. If you tend to overthink, use the body protocol. So this is thinking is not always clear. Movement always is better because it creates the clarity. So a short walk can really reset your nervous system, and your body can solve what your mind keeps looping. So before one key decision today, walk for 5 minutes and no phone, no. Then ask, does this feel clean? What feels clean and what feels heavy here? And just choose the clean option. Just try it. Overthinking often just disappears when your body feels safer. So if you tend to people please, I get it, but try use the boundary protocol. It's one sentence, no story, no negotiation. When you stop explaining, you stop abandoning yourself. So you can practice this line today. Yeah, that doesn't work for me. And then just be silent. If your heart races, that's okay. That's your nervous system that it's learning that this is okay. This is the new normal, right? And every time you do this, you practice it, and your confidence will grow. So now let's talk about consistency without burnout, because consistency is not doing everything. Consistency is doing the essential thing even on a low energy day. So consistency is like a minimum, not a maximum, minimum. So set like this a minimum standard for a day. Just do 5 minutes of movement, one piece of content if you want to be more visible, one boundary, one no, one glass of water. Pick one. Minimums build identical and maximums are always optional. So a lot of people wait for them to feel ready, but readiness is often just, a reward. It's not a requirement. You become ready when you start to do it, It's called practice, learning by doing. No such thing as wasted time or failure. So action creates that readiness. Choose one thing you've been preparing for and now do the first step today. Maybe not a whole thing, just the first little step. Message the person, outline the idea, record the clip. When you move, your fear will shrink, right? So here's an execution secret for you. Close the loops. Unfinished loop will drain your energy. Small completions create momentum, and your brain loves completion. So give it completion. Pick one loop you wanna close today. Like one message, one task, one decision, and close it in 5 minutes. And it can be as simple as making your bed. That will be closing a loop. Cleaning the kitchen today after cooking. It doesn't have to start bigger than that. And then you can just say, I finished what I started. And that will become your identity. And identities create outcomes. So now, your 24-hour challenge, try this. For the next 24 hours, do one 5-minute action that will match your future self. 5 minutes, that's it. Your future self is built in 5-minute decisions. Post one clip, walk for 5 minutes, say one boundary sentence, prepare tomorrow's water. You can also write 3 lines in a new book, then close the loop and say, I did this. This counts. I count. If you want the fastest confidence upgrade, keep one promise to yourself today. Just one. Self-trust is built by kept promises that you can actually trust yourself. Choose a promise so small you cannot fail. 2 minutes of stretching, write a paragraph, drink 1 glass of water, be honest, and then honor it. When you keep promises to yourself, you will stop needing external validation because you become more anchored. And let's just simplify success, because success is not a personality. Success is more like a pattern, and a pattern of alignment decisions and repeated actions. That's it. But of course, success is different for everybody, but keeping promises to yourself is a success. So don't rise to goals, you fall to your patterns. So you can choose one pattern you want to extol. That can be the morning intention, the 5-minute action, closing the loop, repeating it daily. There's nothing that is too small. There's only real. Are you gonna do it in real time in your life? That is where the transformation will happen quietly, consistently, and extremely powerfully. So if you do 5 minutes action today, comment, I did it. And then tell me what you did, because naming your action makes it real and it builds momentum. So self-love is not an idea, it's a behavior. So follow if you want more content that turns mindset into daily action and turns self-awareness into a life you actually can live with greatness in your heart. You don't need a new life. you would want to understand yourself deeper and then practice it. If what you do and the meaning you give it is that this is your life, this is your choice, because it is your life, share it with a friend who needs this today.